Welcome back to React Native Radio. We have a very special mini edition for you today. We're going to talk about Chain React, our favorite React Native conference. We're not biased or anything.
Why would we?
Why would we be?
I'm confused.
As most of you know, we host Chain React every year, and we wanted to give you a special little bite-sized episode about Chain React 2024 and what you can expect. I, of course, am Robin Hines. I'm your host for today. Jamin is still in Africa seeing lions and giraffes and rhinos and stuff. He just sent us pictures from his safari. I'm jealous. It looks fun. I'm sure you'll hear about it when he gets back. For today, you get me. I'm, of course, the Director of Engineering at Infinite Red. I'm located in Portland, which is also where Chain React will be. I live with my husband and my 2 kids, and I've been specializing in React Native for the past 6 years. I also have with me Mazen Chami. Hey.
Hey, what up?
He's over in Durham, North Carolina. He is also at Infinite Red. He's a senior software engineer doing React Native as well. And we have a special guest, Mr. Justin Husky. Woo! He's he's the Director of Communications at Infinite Red and is the mastermind behind Chain React. So he's going to tell us all about it.
Honestly, it doesn't feel that much different because I'm usually with you all in the podcast recording, but not on a microphone. So.
It's true. He sits in on all the podcast recordings because he does all of our social media and marketing and whatnot. But now he gets to be behind the mic. So we're super happy to have him here. He's also in the Portland area along with me. We have lunch sometimes. It's fun. Let's get into it. Our Chain React Minisode, as we're calling it. Justin, can you just give us a little background on Chain React?
Yes, absolutely. So Chain React this year, it's its 5th year that it's happening. It is we describe it as the premier US React Native conference. It happens every year in Portland, Oregon. And that's actually where Robin and I are at. So one of the benefits of that is that we get to actually know a lot of what's going on and can actually visit the site and plan the conference over there. And what we do is every year we bring in people from all over to learn about React Native for 2 days. And then we also put on workshops the day before for the first day to kick it off. And they are kind of like these engaging hands-on learning sessions. And we have a lot of really fun things to talk about how that's different this year. One of my favorite things about Chain React actually is that it's kind of a way for us to share with the community the Infinite Red kind of vision of how we approach work and then also show that to people. It's a fun conference. We have people from Amazon, Meta, Microsoft. I can name drop many more, but I probably won't. But we have all sorts of people out to talk about what's happening in React Native.
I love that you talked about the way Infinite Red does things. Around here, we call that the IR way. And it's really something you have to experience to be able to understand. It's hard to describe without showing people. So that's what we try to do at Chain React.
You just got to come to the conference to find out for yourselves.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing we're trying to do with the conference is something that I've gone to a lot of conferences. I actually came into communications through design, and I've gone to a lot of conferences for designers. And one thing we've been trying to do is we want people to feel welcome to it. Something that because I'm kind of usually a little bit more quieter when I go to conferences, is I try not to be the person who's in the corner. I'm new. I don't know anybody here. So I just sit there, and then everybody else has their cool kids kind of group going on. And what I love about Chain React is we really work hard on making sure everybody feels welcome. So our team is very aware of people who might be kind of on the outside, feel a little nervous about coming to conferences and connecting you with people and making you feel welcome. And there's all sorts of opportunities for that so that we can avoid that whole I'm new at a conference and I feel like an outsider kind of feeling.
You'll see us wearing red shirts, and we work very hard not to end up with little clusters of red shirts, because we're all friends. We love to hang out with each other, but we make a really conscious effort to disperse within the crowd and talk to all of you and make sure we're grabbing people who seem like they're alone and bringing them into conversations. And making sure everyone's feeling welcome.
I think I've said this on the podcast before, but my initial contact with Infinite Red was attending Chain React in 2019. And I will say that even then, before coming to the conference, the IRA was very apparent from even the beginning before I even bought my ticket. I was coordinating with, back then her name was Shawnee. She was the one that was putting on the conference. Coordinating with her all the way down to her giving me this is before we started giving people, advice on where to go, where to eat and stuff like that. She gave me a full email with all that stuff. And when I got there, she was, very friendly and wanted to talk to me. And like you mentioned, Justin, I'm the person that will just sit in the corner, write out the conference and kind of go from there. But I didn't feel like that. I was always approached by someone in a red shirt and brought into a conversation. So don't feel like you have to stand in a corner if you want to. Absolutely. That's
right.
Absolutely
no
fine.
one's going to force you.
Exactly. No one's going to force you.
If you prefer that,
absolutely,
that's totally okay too.
Yeah. But I will say, just approach the Infinite Red table multiple times a day, because we rotate who's at that table. So, sometimes it'll be Robin and I and Jamin. Other times it's other people that we may not have mentioned on the podcast that actually work at Infinite Red.
You'll get to meet a lot of the Infinite Red team, even people that haven't made an appearance on the podcast.
Yeah.
Approach it. There's a lot of goodies on that table. So if that's not a lure for you to come there anyways, then I don't know what would be.
It's always going to be like a friendly place to come have a chat.
That's great. Yeah. I'm happy to hear that, because actually one thing we're doing this year is bringing some pins back that people collect because they keep coming back every year. And we didn't do it last year.
Oh my gosh,
we actually
heard about it.
We heard about it, yes, because I actually didn't think that would be that big of a deal. But we actually have so many people that come back every year that they're like, where's my pin? And now I'm missing one. So we're backtracking and bringing those back so that we can get those out to everybody.
Back by popular demand.
If you came in 2023 and didn't get your pin, we'll make sure you get a 2023 pin and a 2024 pin.
Both, yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the 2024 conference and kind of what people can expect. Maybe they have never been before, don't know what's going to go on. What's Chain React going to look like?
So Chain React this year is going to be a single track conference, and it's our 5th year doing it. So we have kind of put together what we think is kind of a formula for a really good, successful conference. It's a single track conference, which means that we're going to have everybody watching the same talks, which is super nice because afterwards and breaks and lunch and everything, people can talk about what they just saw, and you don't have somebody saying they saw one thing and another person saying they saw another. And we love that. So this year, what you can expect, though, from those 2 days of talks that are happening on the 18th and 19th of July is that we got the feedback last year that we should have more technical talks. So I am happy to finally be able to tell everybody that, yes, we are going to have more technical talks this year. You can expect talks that go into a little bit more of the weeds and kind of you're learning how to do things and implement them. And I think everybody's going to really like it. We also are going to be doing something new this year where we're inviting fewer speakers out this year and opening more of our CFP, our call for papers, open to people so that they can apply for it. If this is like their first time speaking at a conference, they can apply for it and they have just as much of a chance as somebody else, whether or not they're big in React Native or not, which we think will be really good because it'll base it just off of the content of the talk. We have a team who's actually going to be reviewing that will not see the names of the speakers and stuff. So it's going to be just based off of the technicality of the talks and how good it sounds to our audience. And I also want to say, too, that if you go to chainreactconf.com/CFP, you can actually apply now, and that's open through May 3rd. And if that's not enough, I did also want to throw it over to announce that Robin, who's going to be speaking at Chain React this year?
Justin, I think maybe that's me. Am I speaking?
Oh, right, yeah.
Have we approved her CFP yet? I haven't seen that come through.
It seems a little rigged, but yeah.
Thank you, Justin. Yes. I think I may have mentioned it in passing if you're a dedicated React Native Radio listener, but I can officially announce that, yes, I'm speaking at Chain React 2024. I'll be talking about Ignite, which is near and dear to our hearts. And this is my first conference talk. So if you are also someone who's never given a conference talk and you're feeling kind of interested, don't be afraid to submit your idea to the CFP. We actually have quite a few people at Infinite Red who are pretty seasoned conference speakers who are willing to help out anybody who's a new speaker and wants some help polishing their talk and making sure it's the best it can be. And then you'll get to hang out with me in the green room and we'll hype each other up and it'll be fun. So don't be afraid if you've never spoke at a conference before. We want to hear your ideas. We really want the CFB to be open to everyone and we want to hear from everyone. Yeah, that's my pitch.
And also another spoiler, but Gant Laborde from Infinite Red, who's been on the podcast a couple times, will also be giving a talk.
Gant will also be speaking.
Chainreact.
Everyone loves a good Gant talk. He is one of the best speakers out there.
Have you all experienced that in person before?
Yes.
I have.
It
Okay,
is
yes.
magical to listen to that man speak. So
He turns into a whole new person. Like, I work with him every day. We did Chain React, the one last year. And then I went with him to a conference literally right after Chain React. And I remember he got up on stage and I'm like, whoa, this is like the magician can up here. Like, I was not expecting that.
yeah. So come join me on stage, apply to our CFP. We want to hear your ideas.
Justin, can you confirm or deny, will Ken LaFrance be the MC?
Oh, I would not uninvite Ken LaFrance because people love Ken LaFrance. So if I don't invite him, I feel like we're going to actually see a dip in attendance. So yes, he will be here. He will be shaming anybody with a LaCroix in their hand. But yes, he will be emceeing again this year for, I think it's the third year for him.
We love Ken. He really makes the event.
He does, yeah.
So there's talks for 2 days, but you talked about how we like to do workshops the day before the talk. So the Wednesday of the conference. Can we talk a little bit about workshops?
Absolutely, yeah. And this is something I think I'm the most excited about this year is the talks will be great. We know it. We've done talks for 5 years, but the workshops we've always done since the beginning as well, but we've never in our 5 years rebooted it quite like we did this year. So some of the feedback we got last year when we sent out our attendee survey was based off of workshops and kind of the layout of them and how they're kind of, we have a lot of people in them and stuff like that. And so this year we are starting over. We rethought and really looked at, like, if we were starting Chain React this year, how would workshops look? Not what is the circumstance, not what is the hotel we're at. What would our vision of workshops look like? And so this year, we actually are not going to a hotel. We're not going to just put you in this little sad hotel ballroom where there's bad lighting and our photos look terrible. We're going to actually put you into the Armory. So we're going to go into the Armory that everybody loves. It's going to have a workshop on 3 different floors. So every workshop, beginner, intermediate, advanced, they're all going to be on 3 different floors of the Armory.
Side note, did you know that the Armory had 3 floors? I didn't know the Armory had 3 floors. There's like a secret.
Floors.
There's like a secret upper floor. Just like
There's 4 floors, Robin. Yeah. There's a basement. I don't know if people have
that's
seen
right.
that.
There's the basement. But there's
And
like
there's
a
balcony. Everyone thinks the balcony is like the top floor, but there's a floor above that, which I think you're alluding to.
Yeah. The basement is actually got tunnels that run underneath the entire Armory that she gave us a tour of when we were there, Gant and I.
spooky.
That's how they get in, like, the special guests.
Well,
and
yeah,
the
it's a
speakers
theater,
in and
right?
out.
So you have to be able to like get between the stage and like the back of the house without.
That's how
being
Gant
seen.
comes and leaves.
Oh, he is a magician.
That's how he's everywhere. But yes, we are moving it to the Armory on 3 different floors. So what we're really excited about that is that we have a hotel that we have for the conference that we partnered with, and that will just be for kind of going and resting and, getting food and stuff like that. And the Armory this year now gets to be what we're calling React Native Center Stage because the venue's called Portland Center Stage. So we changed it out. And what we love about that is that every time you go to the Armory, it's all React Native stuff. So it could be workshops, could be talks. Everything there is where you're going to be learning. And they also, with that, it'll be open, like there'll be more space to spread out. When we have lunches and everything, people can go into the main floor and kind of connect and network and everything. and everybody from the workshops can kind of talk with each other and have a great time. So we're really looking forward to it. And we have really, really cool topics for the workshops this year. And one thing I'm really excited about actually is that Mazen is in charge of the curriculum for a lot of the workshops this year. So I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm just going to hand it over to him to kind of tell you what's happening with workshops.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah. So this year, I think a lot of stuff that we decided on was we want to be able to give 3 levels like we always do, a beginner, intermediate, and advanced, where the beginner course kind of carries on from last year, but we've rebuilt it essentially. So, it's called React Native Essentials. It's run by JP Justin Polachek, who's a developer here at Infinite Red. And he'll be assisted by Felipe Pena and Nick Morgan, who are also developers here at Infinite Red. The idea for the beginner course, if you're looking to sign up, is basically you are a web developer that has some React experience, or even a native developer who has some JavaScript, TypeScript background. You can take this and pretty much get an app up and running on your device. We're going to be able to show you from starting the app all the way to doing some styling and lists and images and best practices on how we at Infinite Red set up our projects to get you started on that path. This will be in pure vanilla React Native. We won't be using Expo for this because we feel like as a beginner to learn React Native, going down the vanilla route is always better than having Expo pretty much handle a majority of the legwork that they do for us. So that's the beginner one. The intermediate course will be co-led by Keith Karak from Expo and Frank Calise, who needs no introduction. And they'll be assisted by Ellie Croce, who's also a developer here in Infinite Red. So a lot of Infinite Red developers will be helping out in these.
Theme.
Yeah, exactly. So the intermediate course is basically being a good mobile citizen and getting your app to feel truly native. So you'll be doing some config plugins and stuff along those lines, all in the Expo ecosystem. So in beginner, very vanilla focused to get you to understand the core concepts of React Native and get an app built in React Native. While the intermediate, where you've done some React Native development, probably not an advanced developer or so, but you want to get into the Expo world and still, dabble in some of the advanced concepts like config plugins and all that. I have heard that they're going to be doing a plugin where, when you long press the icon on the text messages on the iMessage, for example, for iOS, it gives you the quick shortcuts. That's something that we'll be working on in that too. So that'll be really cool. And then the last one is the advanced workshop. It's called Mastering Native Code. I'm going to be teaching that, and I'll be assisted by Josh Yos and John Major Condon, who are, again, developers here at Infinite Red. And basically, in that one, the tagline for that is pretty much reading and writing native code for React Native developers. So we won't be doing a lot of coding in the beginning parts. We'll just try to read different languages, Kotlin, Java, Swift, Objective-C, and compare them to TypeScript. So, how do you log in those native languages versus a console.log? How do you write a function? We'll go through all those basics. The ability, basically, if I pop up a code snippet, you can tell me, oh, that's Kotlin or that's TypeScript. And then eventually we'll build a native module app, end to end. So we kind of get to work some of that into there. That's the 3 workshops right there.
And Mazen, what should I do if I don't know what workshop is the right one to take?
Oh, funny you asked that. On the website, chainreactconf.com, we have a flow. So a type form where you kind of put in, we ask you a couple questions. I think the quickest way to get to an answer is 2 clicks.
It's like those Cosmo quizzes, which Disney princess am I? But it's which
Pretty
Chain
much.
React workshop is right for me.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a cool one, Justin and I put together to kind of help out. So if the descriptions that I gave aren't enough, give that a try and kind of see if they line up with what you think. And if not, reach out to us in the community, Infinite Red Slack community. I think we have a Chain React channel. Just reach out to us there,
Absolutely.
Justin or myself, and be happy to answer any questions you have.
Awesome. Thanks, Mazen. We are unfortunately getting to the end of our time. If our listeners are interested in Chain React, what do they do now?
Okay, so if anyone is interested in Chain React, and we hope you are, I just have a couple of quick bullet points I'll run over here. One is we have a really amazing hotel this year.
Different hotel from last year, if you were with us last year.
Very different hotel this year. It is a kind of boutique hotel. We take up 60% of it, apparently. So you will see somebody from Chain React there, whether you want to or not. So
I am so excited about this hotel.
Very excited about it. Please book it. If you go to chainreactconf.com, you will find a direct link where you can book it in our room block. A second thing is early bird. It will be ending by the end of April. So if you want to go to Chain React and you don't want to spend as much as the original ticket, you can save some money right now. And if you like even more money off, you are a listener of React Native Radio, and just for React Native Radio fans who made it this far into the episode, you can use the code RNR at checkout, and it'll take an extra $50 off of your ticket, and that could be a general conference ticket or a workshop ticket as well, just across the board. And lastly, please stop by and say hi to anyone at the Infinite Red table while you're at Chain React, because we have some minor celebrities like Robin and Mazen and Jamin, and at
Frank,
some point,
basically Frank now.
Frank will be there. So please stop by. We'll have all sorts of stuff there, and we'd love to say hi to people. In fact, I've been telling everyone in the community, like, whenever they reach out, please just stop by, and we'll have all sorts of swag to hand out to them that they can take with them and check into their luggage on their way home. So please do that. And everything else is at chainreactconf.com. You can also find us on Twitter at chainreactconf.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. I'm so sorry that we have to wrap it up, but I'll leave you with a mom joke that is conference themed.
Ooh.
Why do React Native developers love attending the Chain React conference?
Why, Robin?
Because it's the perfect place to debug their social skills.
Justin likes that one.
Got him. All right. Well, we hope to see you all at Chain React, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
As always, thanks to our production team, with editor Todd Worth, our assistant editor, this guy, Jed Bartosky, our director of communications and episode release coordinator, Justin Husky, and our guest coordinator, Derek Greenberg. Our producer and host is Jamin Holmgren, and executive producers and hosts are Robin Hines and Mazen Chami. Thanks to our sponsor, Infinite Red. Check us out at infinite.red/React Native. A special thanks to all of you listening today. Make sure to subscribe to React Native Radio wherever you get your podcasts. And leave us a review. We'd love to hear what you think.